Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a bit of a different one for you guys today. I'm playing with I Hate Helos against Mr. Ranch 2 and Loisvin, which I think means Evil Pig, but I'm not entirely sure about that. And, well, we're going to flip things around a little bit. I'm going to talk about the deployment, but I'm not going to talk about my own. I'm going to talk about theirs a little bit. Both of these guys were some newer players, particularly Mr. Ranch 2, and we were talking a little bit about that before. He was kind of expecting a tough game. And, well, it was interesting to say the least. So, if we take a look, there's a couple BTR 90s over on this side with what looks like Spetsnaz Guru in there, and I think it was Spetsnaz Guru from later on. That's a pretty big investment, a couple Mi-8 MTVs as well, but no anti-helicopter capabilities and no in-the-air scouting capabilities for this flanking force, just keep that in mind. Command helicopter, which right away, you guys know how I feel about this. Command helicopters, I think, are maybe one of the worst units in the entire game because they're so easy to spot, they're so easy to kill, and the literal one time in my entire time playing this game I ever saw them be helpful is definitely outweighed by just the number of times that they're not. But otherwise, I mean, good support here from the Biryusa and the Book M1, and then maybe a little bit light on the ground headed forward, but honestly, I always have a hard time holding Gregory anyway, so this could be fine. And then for Loisvin, we have a lot of infantry on the ground. Probably would have split these up a little bit more, just get a bit more recon infantry as well, so you can make sure that you're actually seeing what you're trying to fight. A couple of SPW 40P2s will probably not be enough for that role. 15-point vehicles, you really want some recon infantry for this sort of push. But an Mi-2 row is a wonderful pick, so I don't use these guys myself so often. I don't particularly love the high point value recon helicopters, but this guy, I mean, I've seen them used very well. They can hang a little bit farther back than some of the cheaper ones and still provide excellent scouting. So let's get on the way and see how this goes. Bit of a slow start. No, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So they are getting moving pretty quick for Mr. Ranch. Bit of a slow start for Loisvin. You really need to just, well, as I think it was Blitz or maybe Stealth who both said just grab everything, chuck it forward, figure it out as you go along, because if we take a look right now at the neutral, let's take a look. So my stuff has already left the home zone, it's already down here. And if we take a look at Helos, he's already over into center, he's already moving past there with French vehicles, which are very, very quick, and his opponent, Loisvin, is still getting moving off the starting block, so you really can't afford to do that so much. You can have a great plan, you can have great units, and that slow start will sometimes just kill you. So the Mi-4 AVPK, we're actually going to switch to my perspective for just a second. I can see it. Right now, I can see it. And I can see it starting to land. And that means, I think I actually did mark this here in just a second, and I said as much in chat as well, hey, I can see your command helicopter. I know where it is. I could shoot it with artillery, I could send a bomber, and cheap bomber, one-way trip, would get the points value back pretty easily. In the meantime, these guys have been spotted, so the Mi-8 MTVs, and there's not that much vision. So let's take a look. Look at his vision and their vision on our side compared to our vision on their side. It's not great, certainly, but we see these Mi-8 MTVs, we got a look at things moving forward, to get an idea of sort of what we had to deal with before it got there. So I know there are a couple of BMDs here, I know there's a T-80A. We were also able to get things going over to handle those BTR 90s and helicopters, which is why both the helicopters have been killed. Actually, just now, looks like the PH-2 Tiger, and he'll probably be able to kill the Gornostrelki as well with those Sneb rocket pods, I would imagine. Yep, here they are, and firing in. Down go the Gorno. The Spetsnaz Guru on the ground are more successful, and this is fine. Probably should have kept it all concentrated over there or had some sort of scout to help block the way. And now my own forces are coming in against Mr. Ranch here, and these I believe are Hachi Kyushikis, and I have a couple tanks backing them up. So the Martyr 2s, apologies, I was not playing Blue Dragons this time, I was playing Landjut, I think. The Martyr 2s are tanking tank shots, but that T-80A 100-point tank is being ripped to pieces by persistent supporting fire from a couple of Leopard 1A5s. 65-point tanks, two of them supported by a Martyr, and we can see the Lux, the Jaeger, the Fuchs Milan, Panzergren moving up to this forward, and a forward position rather, and Gregory has been relatively lost. If we take a look over at Loisvin's position, he's just now getting into Anna, while I Hate Helos has set up a nice spot in Boris, into the forward woods, Fallschirmjäger, Legion, bring up more Chasseurs, AMX and Vabs. I'm not sure I love that positioning there, but even a Mistral team on the side, Tiger over here spotting, Cortal in the back, Mortars back there, and now we're going to be capping center and just moving up bit by bit by bit. Also, Puma Pirate coming over from Helos, just trying to get a handle on what's here, and I think he's actually, yeah, he's going after that command helicopter, taken down by anti-air, so nice defense there. Let's switch back to the Red 4 perspective, and yeah, not a lot of vision on things. Gregory has been lost, but there's only a single unit that we couldn't even tell what it was over there. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on that, but then again, reinforcing Spetsnaz with the Mi-24A, the Spetsnaz can't really handle what caused this to go poorly, and right away they're taken out by a couple of Puma 330Hs that the Mi-24A also can't really fight, because these guys with that Giat 30 will be able to take down helicopters like the Mi-24A all day. It's a great helicopter. It's 45 points, you get Saplos missiles, you get rocket pods. It's just, this is not what it's meant to fight, which I think is pretty consistently what the issue is with this game. I'm not trying to be harsh, I'm not trying to be, this is, I mean, I'm a harsh person, it's just kind of how I am, so I do apologize for that, of course, but I'm doing this because I enjoyed talking with these guys, and, well, I've been here. I've been that guy. I used command helicopters for a while. Tornado 1DS coming in, and that's going to be the end of this guy's career, as it were. So, yep, taken down. And now Cheriton has been lost. Spetsnaz, I mean, if you're watching this ranch, or Zloistvin, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to bash you guys in any sense, and I would love to do another game sometime on the same team so that we can have a nice time together, but Spetsnaz in the middle of a forest, I don't know. I think this was just not the right answers to things. And the Pavonia, artillery is a wonderful offensive tool. It's only kind of okay on defense. And hear me out, here's why. When you're trying to use Pavonias and things like that to attack, you're shooting at where you expect your opponent's defensive line to be. And there always has to be some sort of defensive line. But if you're trying to defend against an attack, well, your opponent's already on the move. You're firing against a mobile position, against tanks, against motorized and mechanized vehicles, against things that aren't stationary. And particularly with things like Pavonias with their long aim times, you're going to have a hard time actually hitting anything, and that's going to be more trouble than the value you get out of this. I mean, this is a 200-point buy. It could have reasonably been some recon, maybe an ATGM team to fend off a push up in Cheriton, which may or may not be coming right now, actually, as I think I did just at some point grab everything. Yep, here it is. Leopard 1A5 is moving forward, and pretty soon we're going to see the Jaeger and Fuchs Milan moving forward as well, able to sort of provide a more flexible response. Now, it is worth mentioning, Anna here has held the whole game. The Conquerors teams, generally, maybe only one or two per town is probably better. I struggle with that sometimes as well, and if you put just one there, there's going to be a lot of misses. This is certainly going to get you kills, right? The problem is this is an 80-point commitment, and they're very fragile. So the second a bombing run comes in, the second artillery comes in, these guys are going to be dead, and that's going to be all she wrote. So you can see my forces, well, let's switch back to my perspective and just pop over to the other side. This game is pretty much over. A couple of Draken 1's bombing runs do have to come in to really seal the deal, and my Leopards are going to have to get all the way up into Dimitri, but yeah, that's going to be basically it. So I want to make sure that you guys know I make no pretensions to being an excellent player of the game. I'm not trying to lecture you guys either. It's just, I don't know, it came off a bit preachy, didn't it? I'm going to have to keep away from doing that in the future. I just wanted to say, good game to Ranch and Zlistvin. You guys will, as you get more experience and as you play a couple more games, be able to, well, hand us what we handed you this time around, I have no doubt. So, keep with it, and I hope to see you guys both around. In the meantime, we'll have another video tomorrow, so thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you again real soon.